Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, and we're going to be going over our weekly Silicon Valley real estate market stats. By request, we're going to be doing the city of Campbell today. Let's take a quick look at the map just to orient ourselves for those people that are not familiar with Campbell. Here we go. So you can see here, this is Campbell, right here with the dotted lines here. It's bordered by West San Jose, Saratoga right here, Los Gatos down here, Cambrian Park, and then Willow Glen. So we can zoom out a little bit here. So this is Cupertino, this is Los Altos, here's the San Jose Airport, right? So Campbell's actually in a very central area and actually very popular for folks to live because they have pretty good schools. The Campbell Union School District is pretty strong, and it's centrally located to most of the companies here. So let's jump into some stats. We're going to be looking at single families as well as condos and townhouses. We'll look at them separately. And then we'll be looking at the number of active listings, pending listings, which are ones that have accepted, are in contract, days on market, the sales price to original asking price ratio, and the months of inventory. So first we're going to start with Campbell. And we're also going to look at the whole county as well. So here we are with Campbell single family homes. And so when there's more pendings and active, then the market is moving extremely fast, right? So there's some times here where that's happened. The yellow orangish line is the number of pendings and the blue line is the number of active listings. So right now we're having more actives compared to pendings, right? So it's a little bit softer, right? I would still say we're still in a seller's market here. So let's look at the actual numbers. So 37 available for sale with 21 that have accepted an offer, right? So when the number is flipped, so like say, let's look at last year, right? In May, there was 29 pending and only 23 active. So it was like extremely, extremely hot last year. If those of you that were in the market remember. So now let's take a look at days on market, how long it takes to accept an offer, and the sales price to asking price ratio. Okay, so days on market is the blue line, and then the orange line is the sales price ratio. So over 100% means they're selling over asking, right? So it's quite frequently that's happening, and the days on market we're pretty much under 10 days. So I think it jumped up here because there wasn't that many houses for sale, right? So that's why that huge jump there. So we've been kind of, that January 2024 is kind of an outlier, I would say, because we've been single digits and there's probably not too many houses that sold in December. But we've been hovering around single digit numbers, which is extremely fast. That means houses are selling in less than a week. And the percentages, it's still, houses are still selling over asking price. So 104%, 104.5% over the asking price. So it's still quite healthy. So you can see some times here, 2022 a little bit softer, so houses selling below asking here, right? Right here in September to November of 2022. But if we scroll and look at the data only one other time, which was December of last year, where it was a little bit below. But I don't think there's too many transactions, so I wouldn't look too much into that. I would just look at the overall trend of over 100%. So that means houses are selling over asking price. So let's look at the last thing we're going to look at here is we're going to do bonus. So we're going to do months of inventory and price per square foot. I think that's a really interesting stat too. So we're well over 1,000. Last one is $1,300 per square foot. It's quite expensive, and 1.8 months of inventory. So quite low in terms of the months of inventory. All right, so blue line is months of inventory, the left side here. So under 2, and then price per square foot. We've been well over $1,000 a square foot for a long time now. right? And it's diminishing as the house gets larger, then the price per square foot goes down usually. Okay, now let's jump into condos and townhouses. In Campbell, we're going to start again with active and number of pendings. Let's take a look at that. So we can see here it's jumped up, right? And the numbers are small, right? There's not too many condos and townhouses in Campbell. We can see here, so there are 19 and then 11 pending, right? 17 last month and 13 pending. Let's look at how long they're taking to sell and the ratio here, if they're selling over asking. So they're still very close to asking price, right? They're taking longer, as you can see, than single family. Single family is a single digit number of days to sell. The condos and townhouses are still pretty quick, 12 days and 15 days to sell, and over asking still. So let's take a look at this once we look at the whole county. So I think the whole county will tell a different story. For the whole Santa Clara County, condos are much slower, but I think Campbell is a really desirable area, so those condos are generally selling faster and for more. So the last one we'll look at is the months of inventory and the price per square foot. So months of inventory, less than 2, right? So it was higher than 2 before, and we're just under $800 a square foot here. So $758 per square foot for condos in town. So 1.4 months inventory. So that's why we're seeing it be pretty healthy still with super low inventory here in the Campbell condo and townhouse market. So now let's zoom out and look at the whole county for Santa Clara County. And we're going to start with single families with number of active and number of pending, okay? Here we go. So we can see here definitely more actives than pendings overall on the county side, right? So things are a little bit slower, 1,300, right? So inventory slowly growing, started very low at the beginning of the year, 478 in December, and now we're up to 1,300. And the pendings are down a little bit from last month, right? So that means things are a little less sales are happening, right? Now let's look at how long it's taking to sell and the ratio of sales price to asking price. So things are still quite healthy, right? Selling pretty fast. So just over 10 days, so 11 days, and over asking 102. You can see here it slowed down because it was higher at 109% over asking price, but now we're at 102, right? So in February at the beginning of this year. So it's definitely cooled from the beginning of the year. So we can see the chart here, median days of sales in blue. It's pretty healthy, hovering right around 10 days, and we're well over 100%, right? We're looking again at single family houses in Santa Clara County. So the last stat here we'll look at will be the price per square foot and the months of inventory for single family houses in Santa Clara County. I think so we hear blue months inventory, so we're under 2, so still strong seller's market, and the price per square foot is $1,200. So for the whole county, it's over $1,000 a square foot, which is crazy when you look back in time at what it used to be. So here, 1.6 months of inventory for the whole county and $1,226 per square foot, right, for the whole county. I think it's better to look at individual cities for where you're looking to get the detailed deep dive into those, but it's nice to see the trends for the whole county as well here, right? So blue months inventory, and then orange is the price per square foot. So we've been over $1,000 per square foot for the last couple of years for the whole county. So the last thing we're going to be looking at are condos and townhouses for the whole county. So first will be the number active available for sale and the number of pending. So look at this huge gap here, right, between the number of active and the numbers that have sold. It's kind of like what I was telling you, the difference between the whole county and Campbell itself. So we're looking at 273 that got into contract, they got the offer accepted, and 900 available. So for condos and townhouses overall in the county, buyers have a lot of choice, right? So you can see here last year it was much closer, right? So it's just only 376 versus 163, but now it's 273 pending and 900 available. So we can see that playing out in the days on market and the sales price to asking price ratio. So we're at 20 days, right? So you can see, and now we're actually below asking. So you have places that are selling below the original asking price, right? And it's taking twice as long on median compared to single family houses, right? Which are hovering around 10 days on market. So we can see the trend here over the last 3 years. So these are the ones that are outliers, I would say, with not too many transactions, but it's around 100. And then days on market, you see it was much higher at the beginning of the year, also because holidays, not too many, but now we're around 20. So it's been slowly growing throughout this year here. So the last thing, months of inventory, and let's look at the price per square foot. Here we go. So months inventory, we are right under 3. Okay, right at 3, so it's quite a lot compared to, say, single families is less than 2. And the price per square foot's just under 800 here for the whole county. So 3 months of inventory. So it's been slowly growing, right? So at the end of the last year it was 1.3 months inventory for condos and townhouses, and then now we're at 3. And the price per square foot is kind of stable, right around $800 per square foot. So that's all for today. We went through Campbell and Santa Clara County. If you have any other cities or counties you want me to cover, please feel free to reach out and I will do a video on that. And once again, if you have any needs for real estate across the country or international, I can put you in touch with trusted referrals. And if you need help with contractors and anything like that here locally in Silicon Valley, I can also help with that as well. So hope you have an awesome day and see you later.